Why is it that some people can just have one drink and then other people struggle with alcohol? This is a question I get asked quite a lot, and I recently did a video about if you've historically had a problem with alcohol, can you learn just to have one drink? So go check that out because there's a lot of crossover. So this video is specifically about people who just occasionally have a drink and haven't really ever had a problem with alcohol. However, I would argue that maybe they have in some sort of way. Now that might just be one event where they've drank too much and they felt ill, and that's been enough for them, and they've made that decision that they never want to do that again. There's not been that much research on this, but there are some key things that we notice about people that have an occasional drink who haven't really had a problem with alcohol. The good news is you can learn how to do these things. So if you want to reduce, take a break, or stop drinking, these are some of the key things that we teach that help you to make changes. Okay, so if you watch people that have an occasional drink, these are the things that they do. These are the things that are part of their personality, their behaviors, their strategies. So they drink slowly. They drink on social occasions. Occasionally they have one drink. Now the drinking slowly is really important because alcohol is quite a powerful drug. If you're drinking regularly, you probably don't notice that because you've built up a tolerance. But if you have alcohol-free time, if you are an occasional drinker, you maybe don't have a drink for a month, 2 months, 3 months, maybe even longer. So when you have a drink of alcohol, it's really powerful, yeah? And if you drink that fast, you're going to get inebriated quite quickly, and that's not going to feel very good. So one of the things I really notice about people that have an occasional drink is they like to be in control. They are disciplined. They like the way they feel. They do not want to be drunk. They don't want to be hungover. They don't want to be sick. They don't want to have anxiety. They want to be in control, and they like the way they feel. So having a drink and sipping it slowly means that they can manage how the drug is impacting on them. Now, that is exactly how we're supposed to take alcohol. You know, alcohol is a social lubricant. Having it socially is appropriate use of the drug. Having a drink and drinking it slowly is appropriate use of the drug. The body on average processes 1 unit of alcohol per hour. 1 unit is like half a lager or 1 single shot of gin or vodka or whiskey. A glass of wine is about 2.3 units. A large glass of wine is about 3 units. So if you are somebody that drinks a large glass of wine and you drink it quite quickly, you are going to get inebriated quite quickly, and you're also giving your liver quite a hard time. Now, if you have one drink, it's probably not the end of the world, but if you keep drinking, that's going to be quite a lot for your body to deal with, yeah? Hence why, one of the reasons why we feel quite rubbish. So they have one drink and they drink it slowly. The key part about that is they don't want to get inebriated. They like to be in control. They like the way they feel. So they're focused on how they want to feel, and that's why they drink slowly, yeah? They're thinking about the next day. They don't want to be hangover. They don't want to have anxiety, all that type of stuff. So they're able to think it through, consequential thinking. There's something about forward planning as well, which is really interesting. When you work with people who use different substances, there is definitely something about being able to plan, being able to think things through, that consequential thinking stuff, yeah? Now, sometimes, not all the time, what we see is that discipline, the control, the resilience. They have coping mechanisms for life. They understand what life is about. Now, there can be many reasons for that. There can be a genetic component. It might be that they've experienced certain life events and they've learnt resilience, or they've been taught resilience, or they've learnt it themselves, yeah? There's a whole heap of stuff that goes on there. But usually what happens here is these are people that know, that understand how life is, the ups and downs of life, that life is going to happen, and they don't need to take a drug to cope with life's ups and downs. They have that resilience, they have that understanding of what life is in life's terms. Now, these are all things that we teach around taking a break from alcohol, reducing your drinking. In fact, understanding what life is, understanding what it means to be human is a huge part of the work that we do, because when we understand that and we understand how our human machine works, then life can be a lot easier. It can be a lot more pleasurable. Yeah, you can learn how to build this resilience, these coping mechanisms. Yeah, so these are people that they have a drink occasionally in an appropriate situation socially, and they drink it slowly, and that's it. It's that simple. Now, I bet if we dug a little bit deeper, there'd also be some stuff there in their values, obviously around control, around forward planning, how they want to feel, maybe about health, maybe about parenting, all sorts of stuff as well. It can be quite interesting. Now, the good news is you can learn this stuff. So let me know what you can take from this video to help you reduce, take a break, and stop.